computer just turned off and I need it because it has my steps for how to do this. Hi. So it has been a little while, but I actually got a request to do a tutorial for 10 Feet Tall by Cavetown, so that's what this is. Also, if you're wondering why my hair looks stupid, it's because I have a mohawk, but I also haven't gotten a haircut in like 3 weeks, so my sides are all grown in, and also my hair just grows weirdly, and it does that little weird thing up here where the things are uneven, and yeah, I'm aware it looks stupid, please just ignore it. But yeah, so I've never done a tutorial before, so this might be informative and you might actually learn how to play the song, but it might also just be stupid. So we'll see. So as I said, I'm going to be teaching you how to play 10 Feet Tall by Cavetown today. This is just the way that I play the song. You can obviously do things differently, but this is just how I played it in my cover and how I would play it in the future. The first thing you need to know for 10 Feet Tall is that your guitar is going to be tuned down a half step. I know I've seen stuff where it's like, oh, you know, you can just do it in standard tuning, and it sounds fine. I'm not saying it sounds bad. I prefer it a half step down. It makes the song a little bit lower. I get to sing a little bit lower, so I like it like that. Again, you can keep it in standard tuning, but the way I play it is I tune all of my strings a half step down. So my E goes to a D sharp, my A goes to a G sharp, my D goes to a C sharp, my G goes to an F sharp, my B goes to an A sharp, and my E goes to a D sharp again. So that's the tuning. It'll sound like this on your guitar. And yeah. So the next thing I want to go over is the structure of the song, because 10 Feet Tall doesn't actually have a chorus. Rather, it is the introduction, verse 1, an instrumental, verse 2, another instrumental, verse 3, verse 4, a bridge, and then verse 5, which I believe is just verse 1 repeated. I'm going to be going over the song in that structure and just breaking it down piece by piece. Even though the strings are tuned a half step down, I'm just going to be referring to them in standard tuning because it's a little bit easier. And yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to get into the chords of the song. So the first chord you're going to play is an A suspended 2 over E, which sounds really complicated, but it's not. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your middle and your ring finger, and you're going to put them on the D and the G string on the 2nd fret. You put them right here. It's like an A chord, except you don't have your bottom finger on. You're also going to play all the strings. You're not muting the low E or anything. You're playing all the strings, so it sounds like this. So the next chord you need to know is an open E chord, in which your middle and your ring finger are going to be on the 2nd fret of the A and the D strings, and then your pointer finger is going to be on the 1st fret of the G string. So that sounds like this. And then the next thing you need to know is an E major 7, which is kind of like an E but inverted, I think. So you are going to move your pointer finger up to the D string. It's still on the 1st fret. You bring your middle finger down, and that goes on the G string. And then your ring finger is on the 2nd fret still, but it goes on the A string. So that sounds like this. And again, all of these chords, you're not muting the low E string, you're just playing all of them open and you're not muting anything. So the next 3 chords you need to know are C sharp minor, A, and then F sharp. So the way that you do C sharp minor is you bar the 4th fret completely with your pointer finger. Your middle finger is going to go on the 5th fret with the B string, and then your ring and your pinky are going on the D and G on the 6th fret. So that sounds like this. Next chord you need to know is an A, in which you're putting your middle, ring, and pinky finger on the 2nd fret, and you're covering the D, G, and B strings. You're also muting the low E up here, so I just kind of put my thumb over. And then the last one you need to know is an F sharp, which is basically the F chord but moved a fret up. So you're barring the 2nd fret, and then you're doing an open E chord shape. So your middle finger is going onto the 3rd fret of the G string, and then your middle and your pinky fingers are going onto the A and the D. So this is also open, so. That sounds, I know it sounds like it's not in the key, but it comes up later. I promise you only use that chord once in the song. The chord progression for the song, generally, it changes throughout the verses. So I'm just going to take it kind of verse by verse, but the general one that I've seen that's most popular in the song is A suspended 2 over E, and then E, E major 7, C sharp minor, A, and then E. That's kind of the general basic chord progression of the song. Also with the chord progression, the strum pattern changes a little bit throughout the song. I don't really write out my strum patterns, I tend to just do them by ear, but the general one I use for this is very similar to the strum pattern for Black by Pearl Jam. It's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then switch to the chord. I'm really bad at explaining this. I'm just gonna jump into the song and we're gonna go piece by piece. We're gonna start with the intro, which is only 2 chords. It is your A suspended 2 over E, and then your E major. So I'm just gonna play through them really quick because it's super simple. You pretty much just do 2 measures of each and then you go into the first verse. So it's... pretty much just the intro. And then when you go into the first verse, it goes back to that general chord progression I told you about, where it's a suspended 2 over E, E, E major 7, C sharp minor, A, and then back to E. So the thing about this is that you're gonna play your A suspended 2 for 2 measures, just like you did in the intro, and then you're gonna go to E, and then after a measure of that, you switch to E major 7. And then it kind of does that in reverse. So you do C sharp minor for 1 measure, A for 1 measure, and then E for 2. That sounds like this. So that chord progression actually repeats like 4 times. So it'll repeat throughout verse 1, the instrumental that follows that, verse 2, and then the following instrumental there. So it's really simple. The intro through the first 2 verses and their instrumentals are really, really easy to play. But when you get to verse 3, it honestly doesn't get that much more complicated. It just kind of takes the second half of the chord progression and just adds another chord to it. So in verse 3, which is, I believe, climb over the circus walls, finally feel at home, somewhere around there, you basically just do the second half of the chord progression, but instead of doing the E for 2 measures, you go E for 1 measure and then E major 7 for the second one. So that'll sound like this. So you're going to repeat that progression twice throughout verse 3, from climb over the circus walls to sink down to the bed. But when you get to finally feel at home, you're going to repeat the intro strum pattern, in which you do a suspended 2 over E for 2 measures, and then you switch to the E. So then you're going to do the intro strum pattern twice. From verse 4 into the bridge, you go through the standard chord progression, the basic one that we set up at the beginning, 1.5 times. And it changes in the second half of the chord progression. So the entirety of verse 4 is normal, so you go from my teeth falling out again to 20 course, and that gets you through 1.5 of the chord progressions. But when you get to I got no friends, it changes because it goes C sharp minor to F sharp to A, and then to A suspended 2 over E. So it'll just go like this. And then from there, you're in verse 5 / I think verse 1 repeated. And from there, you just go through the normal strum pattern again and you're good. So after that, there's a little bit of tab that I haven't been able to find written out at all. And I'm not gonna write it out either because I don't really think there's a correct way to play it. The way that I always do the ending part is just by ear. But really, all you need to know is that you're going through the chords of the song, and you're just kind of doing it slowly, you're picking through them. It's kind of like a little arpeggio, but not really. I will say, for the first half of it, try not to play the high E at all, and also try not to end on the same note. So you could play it like this. And it's just kind of like that. So you can do whatever modifications on that you want, but it's pretty simple. It's not too hard. But yeah. So that's how I play 10 Feet Tall by Cavetown. Feel free to use it to teach yourself how to play this song. Feel free to change anything you want. Feel free to ignore it completely. But I hope it helps at least one of you guys. Again, this is just how I play it. Please take as much creative liberty as you want. Like, I hope that was helpful, and I hope that you all have a great day, and I hope that you're looking forward to the end of school, because we're in April and we have like a month left, and that's pretty much just finals. So hang in there. I believe in you. All of you are amazing. Yeah. Bye.